Hey there folks, it's your friendly neighborhood comedian and political commentator here, back to talk about something that might sound as exciting as watching paint dry global finance. You see, there's this organization called SWIFT, which stands for the Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Communication. Catchy, right? Basically, SWIFT is like the glue that holds the global financial system together. They provide a messaging system that banks use to talk to each other and move money around the world. Think of it as the WhatsApp of international banking, but instead of sending emojis, they're sending trillions of dollars every day. Now, SWIFT is usually about as exciting as a beige wall, but lately they've been up to something that's got everyone in the financial world buzzing, experimenting with digital currencies. Now I get it. You might be thinking, John, why should I care about some boring banking system messing around with digital monopoly money? Well, my friend, these trials aren't just some side hustle for SWIFT. They're a big deal because they could fundamentally change how money moves around the world, making it faster, cheaper, and more accessible for everyone. Imagine a world where you could send money to someone across the globe in seconds, without paying ridiculous fees, or where you could invest in a piece of a company or a piece of real estate with just a few clicks, even if you don't have a ton of cash lying around. That's the potential of what SWIFT is trying to unlock with these digital currency experiments. Alright, let's talk about this whole tokenization thing because it sounds way more complicated than it actually is. Basically, it's like taking something from the real world, like a share of Apple stock or that sweet vintage vinyl collection you've been hoarding, and turning it into a digital token that can be traded and tracked online. Think of it like a digital certificate of ownership. You still have the actual thing, but now there's a digital record of it that can be bought, sold, or even split up into smaller pieces. It's like taking your prized Beanie Baby collection and turning each one into a digital trading card that you can collect, trade, or even sell a fraction of. This might seem like some futuristic mumbo-jumbo, but it's actually already happening. We're seeing it with things like digital art, where people are buying and selling NFTs, which are basically digital certificates of authenticity for digital art. Now you might be wondering, John, why go through all the trouble of tokenizing everything? What's the big whoop? Why should you care about this seemingly complex process? Well, my skeptical friend, tokenization brings a whole buffet of benefits to the table. It's not just a fancy buzzword, it's a game changer. First off, it can make transactions lightning fast. Imagine sending money across the globe in mere seconds. Remember the days when you had to wait days for a bank transfer to clear? Those days are long gone. With tokenization, those transactions could happen in the blink of an eye, 24/7. No more waiting, no more delays. It's like upgrading from your dial-up internet to a fiber optic connection, but for money. The speed is unparalleled. Secondly, it can save everyone a ton of money. Think about the costs involved in traditional financial systems. Think about all the middlemen involved in traditional finance, banks, brokers, lawyers, that guy in the alley with a briefcase full of cash. Each one takes a cut. Tokenization can cut out many of these intermediaries, which can reduce fees and make transactions cheaper for everyone involved. It's a more streamlined process. It's like buying your airline tickets directly from the airline instead of going through a travel agent and getting slapped with a bunch of hidden fees. The savings are significant. And let's not forget the smoothness of the entire experience. Tokenization ensures that transactions are not only fast and cost-effective, but also incredibly user-friendly. So, in a nutshell, tokenization is revolutionizing the way we handle money, making it faster, cheaper, and smoother than ever before. Embrace the future of finance. Section 5. Central banks jump on the digital train. Now, it's not just SWIFT that's getting in on the digital currency action. Central banks around the world are also dipping their toes into the digital waters, and they're making some serious waves. According to a recent survey by the Bank for International Settlements, a whopping 90% of central banks are exploring the possibility of launching their own digital currencies, also known as CBDCs. That's right, 90%. It's like finding out that 90% of your friends are secretly obsessed with K-pop. These CBDCs would be different from cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, which are decentralized and not controlled by any single entity. CBDCs, on the other hand, would be issued and backed by central banks, just like traditional fiat currency, but in a digital form. Think of it like the digital version of the dollar bills in your wallet, but with a lot more bells and whistles. Section 6. Swift's experiments, playing with digital dough. Now let's get back to Swift and their digital playground. This isn't just a casual interest, it's a full-fledged commitment to exploring the future of finance. They're not just sitting on the sidelines watching the CBDC craze unfold. Instead, they're diving headfirst into the action, eager to understand and shape the future of digital currencies. They're actively experimenting with how these new forms of digital money can be integrated into the global financial system. This involves a lot of trial and error, but that's the essence of innovation. In fact, they've been running a series of trials and pilots to see how CBDCs and tokenized assets could work in the real world. These trials are crucial for understanding the practical applications and potential pitfalls of digital currencies. They're testing out things like cross-border payments, securities settlement, and even trade finance, all using digital currencies. Each of these areas presents unique challenges and opportunities. It's like they've set up a giant financial laboratory where they're mixing and matching different digital ingredients to see what kind of delicious financial concoctions they can cook up. This lab is buzzing with activity, full of experts collaborating and innovating. One of their most interesting experiments involves using a blockchain-based platform to facilitate cross-border payments with CBDCs. This could revolutionize the way money moves around the world, making transactions faster and more secure. They've partnered with several central banks and financial institutions to test out this technology, and the results have been pretty impressive so far. These partnerships are key to ensuring that the technology is robust and scalable, ready for widespread adoption. Section 7 CBDCs, the digital dollar and euro and yen. Now, let's talk a bit more about these CBDCs because they're kind of a big deal. They represent a significant shift in how we think about money and financial transactions. As we mentioned earlier, they're basically digital versions of existing currencies, issued and backed by central banks. This means they have the same value and trust as the physical money we use every day. Think of them as the cool, digital cousins of the paper money you're used to, with a few extra tricks up their sleeves. They offer the convenience of digital transactions while maintaining the stability of traditional currencies. One of the potential advantages of CBDCs is that they could make cross-border payments faster, cheaper, and more efficient. Imagine being able to send money to a friend or family member overseas in just a few seconds. Right now, sending money across borders can be a real pain in the you-know-what. The process is often slow and cumbersome, involving multiple intermediaries and high fees. It can take days for transactions to clear, and the fees can be outrageous, especially if you're sending smaller amounts. This can be particularly frustrating for individuals and small businesses. CBDCs could streamline this process, making it as easy to send money to someone in a different country as it is to send an email. This could revolutionize the way we handle international transactions. Another potential benefit of CBDCs is that they could help to promote financial inclusion. By providing a digital alternative to cash, they could make financial services more accessible to people in remote or underserved areas. Section 8. The magic blend real money meets digital assets. Now, here's where things get really interesting. Swift isn't just focused on CBDCs. They're also exploring how to combine these digital currencies with tokenized assets, creating a whole new world of possibilities for global finance. Imagine a world where you could buy a share of a company using a CBDC, and that transaction could be settled instantly, without the need for intermediaries. Or imagine being able to invest in a piece of real estate using a digital token, making it easier and more accessible for people to invest in assets that were previously out of reach. Swift believes that this combination of CBDCs and tokenized assets could revolutionize the way we think about and interact with money. Section 9. Real-world examples from stocks to concert tickets. Now, all this talk of CBDCs and tokenized assets might sound very abstract and theoretical. So, let's bring it down to earth with some real-world examples of how this technology could be used. Let's say you're a small business owner who needs to import goods from another country. Right now, that process can be a nightmare of paperwork, bank transfers, and currency exchange fees. But imagine if you could pay for those goods instantly using a CBDC, with lower fees and faster settlement times. That could be a game changer for your business. Or let's say you're a music fan who wants to buy tickets to a sold-out concert. Section 10. The future of finance. A digital revolution? So, what does all this mean for the future of finance? Is a digital revolution truly on the horizon? Well, it's still early days, and there are plenty of challenges and uncertainties ahead. But one thing is clear. The financial world is undergoing a period of rapid change and innovation, and digital currencies are playing a key role in that transformation. SWIFT's digital currency trials are just one example of how the financial industry is exploring the potential of this new technology. And with central banks around the world jumping on the CBDC bandwagon, it's clear that digital currencies are here to stay. Section 11. Buckle up, the ride's just getting started. So, there you have it, folks. A crash course in SWIFT's digital currency trials and the potential they hold for the future of finance. It's a complex and rapidly evolving landscape, but one thing is for sure. It's going to be an interesting